I think the old magic found its way back into our world through a dream. Just a dream. Nothing more.
Your project is to identify everyone with talent?
Yes.
Even if it's just potential and even if they haven't used it yet?
Damn it, I shouldn't have told you.
Is that what it does?
You cannot breathe a word of this to anyone.
Amanda, do you have any idea what you're doing?
Yeah. Saving children.
We have to destroy it.
Are you crazy? That's my life's work.
A witch hunt machine?
Jesus, Whit. You were being so naive. This isn't some fairy tale. This is about saving people here in the real world.
Lock up when you leave.
Just a dream. Nothing more.
Okay, guys, ready?
Ready.
Ready. Ready.
Stage 1. Gain interior access without causing alarm.
What are you doing?
Elves get a 20% bonus when hiding.
Behind a lamp?
Elves are skinny bastards.
Okay, my turn.
These guys have had 15 years to solve this without players. They failed.
Do you guys remember the story of the gamers that disappeared from their table 15 years ago?
Urban legend. That's as fake as the steam tunnel scare.
Actually, this one's all true. And you're holding their original character sheets right now.
Rogar, former barbarian scourge of West Haven, now a convicted
felon twice over and a homeless alcoholic with an anger problem. What the hell, Megan?
I have an idea. But it's going to take all of us working together. The main controls for the university's surveillance system are housed in the server room.
Where's my feed, Magellan?
Magellan will hack into the system, which should give us access to the campus security.
Why can't I just use another spell?
Hacking, magic, just do your thing. Why'd you steal his pants?
Which games do you remember forever? The ones where your character wins some imaginary gold? Or the ones where they grew into something greater than the stats on a character sheet?
No, don't care. This warrior is better off living drunk in the city park than being controlled by the mere gamer.
You are the gamers.
Do not interfere. A bard's duty is to observe and record, to preserve history in song for the enlightenment and edification of future generations. We allow events to unfold naturally, organically, and do nothing to influence their outcome. Where are your pants?
A mystery.
Who else disputes my rule? Now, I'll civilize you yet.
No! Everywhere. No, I got rid of you.
DeLorean will come and save us.
Die, evil races!
This epic is compromised.
No, we haven't!
Let's all eat a cow!
Saw this, they're not paying me enough.
Boy, I said! Nora!
My family isn't exactly the forgive and forget type.
What do you want from me?
No. It's what you want from me. We have much to discuss.
I think the old magic found its way back into our world through a dream. Just a dream. Nothing more.
Your project is to identify everyone with talent?
Yes.
Even if it's just potential and even if they haven't used it yet?
Damn it, I shouldn't have told you.
Is that what it does?
You cannot breathe a word of this to anyone.
Amanda, do you have any idea what you're doing?
Yeah. Saving children.
We have to destroy it.
Are you crazy? That's my life's work.
A witch hunt machine?
Jesus, Whit. You were being so naive. This isn't some fairy tale. This is about saving people here in the real world.
play an audio round.
Maybe it'll come back in.
Maybe it'll come back in.
What's
really
up,
great,
everybody?
It was really great, and then whenever essentially all the windows in Skype just like popped back up, thing reset, and then when I try to pull it back down,
Connor, can you hear us? Connor, can you hear us?
Yeah. Are we on?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, everybody. Hey, what's up? Sorry, everybody. Hey, what's up? I hate. Not you guys.
Whatever.
Not you guys.
Welcome to Void Jumpers.
Welcome to Void Jumpers.
It's Wednesday, my favorite
It's
Wednesday,
my favorite Wednesday of the week. This is going to be an actual play TTRPG live stream on Twitch. Coming to you out of the ether sphere.
We're going to be using this game.
We're going to be
It's
using
called
this
Monster of the Week
game
by Michael Sands.
It's called Monster of the Week by Michael Sands. It's one of my
because the system allows us to make up a lot of our own rules, which is our bread and butter. That's about all that. Let's bring in the crew. What's up, everybody?
What up? What up?
Hello, everyone.
Are we still getting an echo? We might be getting an echo.
I don't hear an echo.
No, I don't hear an echo, but it's what's popping around in chat. Chat's going, oh, sweet. Thank you, Mark.
What's up, Fadior?
All right. How are you, folks?
So good.
So good.
Someone in my neighborhood is setting off fireworks. Tacos, wearing a taco glittery shirt. I'm in my taco zone. It's cool.
Good.
I'm wearing a shirt. That's, that's special.
I wish there was a place called Taco Zone. I really do, because I feel like sometimes you're just like, oh, I sorry, I got in the zone. I just had to get some tacos.
I'm just that. Yep.
There's definitely a place called Taco Zone. It might not be what we want it to be, but there's definitely a place called Taco Zone.
I think there's definitely a place called Taco Zone that exists in our world that we're creating now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of like the holodeck from Next Gen, and you can just go in there and it becomes your preferred magical taco experience. So I couldn't define it for you guys. I know what mine looks like. It looks like Taco Express from Brighton, Colorado. That's it's just a couple blocks away from where I went to high school.
Oh, say more. None of us went to your high school.
Huh?
You have to describe it in further detail.
It would be worthless because that's all that happens when I go into Taco Zone. When you go in, it would look different.
It'd be the Voltron of different taco experiences, I've got to say. There's a place near, let's see, that must be up off Oxnard called Salsa and Beer. And yeah, dude. Like, they've got this hot cheese dipping sauce that is just like, it is messed up. Like, if you want to talk about a place where you can sit down, order some cheese dip, and eat way too many complimentary flour chips and absolutely ruin your meal, that is the place. Full salsa bar. Oh, heavens to Betsy.
Taco Zone.
All day.
Okay.
Tacos all day.
Trin, why don't you take us over to Democracy Corner so we can get into the space jumping?
Very happy to. So, two things. First thing, I'm still very excited about that bystander intervention training that I told you all about. I think it was last week. But one of the organizations doing it is located in Houston. And because of everything that's going on in Texas right now, they are actually canceling tomorrow's bystander training. Good news is there are still 5 other sessions you can sign up for. I've signed up for the one in March. So if you haven't signed up yet and you want to do it with me, sign up for the one in March. But they've got one every month starting in March for the next 5 months. And I will drop that in the chat. And I'll make sure to tweet about it as well. Second thing is, is there an echo? Okay, no. Second thing is talking about what's going on in Texas and in other parts of the country with these crazy weather conditions that are have caught some areas totally unprepared, and people are really struggling just to stay warm enough to survive. I've talked about mutual aid networks in the past, but I'm going to promote them again. They are organizations that are run by community members of a community to support people in that community. So if you support a mutual aid network in a certain area, your dollars are going straight to the communities in need in those areas. So the mutual aid, the place that I'd like to highlight today is a Black-led organization in Dallas called Feed the People Dallas. Okay, I got the name right. Yay. So I would say look them up, send them some money. The great thing about mutual aid networks is because it's people in the community, they know what those community needs are, and they also know how to reach people where they are and do it effectively, and there's a lot less red tape to wade through. So I strongly encourage you to support any organizations that are helping people in need right now, but especially mutual aid organizations. And I will drop this name in the chat as well. For anyone who is listening later, it is called feedthepeopledallas.com. And that's it for this week.
Thank you, Trin. Okay, we got a lot of fun stuff that I'm excited for. So we're just going to let the wrap up roll.
What wrap up?
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's clever.
It's
That's
literally
very clever.
a wrap
That was
up.
good.
What's up? You totally lied to me when you gave me that book. Now I'm starting to feel like I gotta get shook. I'm coming here to get the real thing. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to take your earrings. And by earrings, I do mean brains.
CNAC 88. I guess we had a spat. I get my tenses mixed up. Seems like you want to get fucked up. Shit, I hit the same word again twice, and now I'm the only one on video. I'm scared. I'm like a mice. That's just a joke. I'm a fucking lion. You and me, we're gonna go, and only one of us is dying.
Hey, my name is Rex, and you know what? I'm gonna hex you with this magic crew who's gonna bring it down and turn you into parts. What? Then you won't be so smart. Hey.
I take out the match. I flick it. Feel the spark. Don't come at me, son. There's trouble after dark. So CNAC 88, if that's your real name, you best step off me, cause Jenny is my dame.
Look, I don't rap. I'm just a fire summoner on tap. So take yourself away before I come out to play. And I'm gonna fuck you up, right up in your cup, on your head, down below, give you shit real slow, because that's how I roll.
This unexpected rap battle will not be my end, but to you, the side of me that still resides as friend, I will keep my promise. This office is free from my portals, my evils, and me!
We're going to do a little bit of D&D-ish bookwork before we get started. Okay? First of all, who's got level ups prepared? Okay, we're just going to go around the line, and you're just going to tell us what you got. If you got an idea of something, we'll just lock it in real quick. We're going to start with you, Casey.
First off, well, I guess two things. What are the D&D stats that we're switching over from the Monster of the Week stats? Just so I can make sure that I got that correct.
Charisma, dexterity, lore, strength, magic.
Okay, great. So I was thinking about just increasing a stat, but then I realized I'm going to continue with the same pattern that we had before, with the sort of boundaries between Puck and Sam continuing to be more intertwined. So maybe adding another Puck experience to Sam's repertoire.
Okay.
So he's kind of got this shielding thing still. So now I was thinking maybe something along the lines of an attack. So maybe like he can,
What if it's like a Hulk smash that you can do, where it's like Puck's huge crystal gauntlets appear, and you can do an attack? It'll count towards the charges that you use for your armor, but will give you 1 additional with this level up.
Right.
So that puts you at 4, right?
4 charges?
Yeah. And then it'll do whatever Puck's biggest melee attack is, you can just do as Sam.
Cool.
If you're ever in a pinch.
Whatever
that damage is.
I was in that alley because my regular punch is just not cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
Soft baby hands.
Okay, just 1 level up for you. We haven't done this in a while, so I'm trying to catch us up and get you guys all beefed up.
Yeah, I've got some more experience points, but just the 1 level up.
Okay. What about you, Trin or Rex?
So Rex is kind of enjoying trying to talk her way out of some fights sometimes, even though that didn't go very well the last time. But I'm going to take Fervor, which allows me to use my strength bonus instead of my charisma bonus, which is negative.
Excellent.
Very
When I
smart.
try and
Very
manipulate someone.
Okay, cool. I think that would tie into a kind of an intimidation, but I think that it could also work for you in a positive way too. If you're trying to convince somebody who you are trying to protect, I think that you are saying, you can trust me, I can protect you. You're not saying like, you could trust me or I'll beat you up. I think that it can have both sides of the sword. So I like that a lot. Okay. Just 1 level up for you as well?
Yep.
Okay. Bryn.
I think similar to Trin, talking has been part of this planet. So instead of a -1 for charisma, I would like to bring it to a 0.
Okay, cool. Stat boost. Just the 1 for you as well?
Yep.
Okay. And finally, Tag.
All right. Here's what I'm thinking, and I'll call upon you, Jesse, / the rest of the group, / maybe even chat to figure out how to balance this. What I ultimately want to build over the next probably couple level ups is Cerebro.
Okay.
So we've got Tag, who is a telepath. I'm not proposing building the structure as it exists in the X-Men universe, but to allow him to start locating people using those telepathic powers. And then I want to continue to build to make this stronger as we go along. But I think it starts with being able to reach out beyond the telepathic. I guess we're kind of, in a way, I'm trying to suggest a power up and a power down. We've never really put exact limits on his telepathic capabilities. So I suppose I'm saying, let's put exact limits on them. Let's say they are limited, and then give a level up that extends them.
Okay, I got an idea for the
talk
first.
myself into getting a level up that does absolutely nothing?
No, I got something for you. I had an idea immediately, and I think that it's going to be a foundational thing like you're speaking of, and if you choose to continue, we will be able to fine-tune it and upgrade this ability and add layers to it. I would propose that your first version of this would be contained to, I don't know how to define the range. It wouldn't be planet-wide. It would probably be like, we'll say region. And that will be defined by context. So in this case, your region on Void would kind of encapsulate this entire city map that I have for this area. Like if you were on Bloom, it would have been the jungle, the town, and
Let me counter your proposal. I would prefer it be more limited in other ways, because what I want to be able to do with this, because I think we have kind of telepathically linked regionally with a fair amount of consistency. I want to start talking cross realm. I want this to be potentially a chain to maybe the containment is that it needs to be someone that I know or have met, that it's not just anybody, but I'd rather we limit who it can talk to rather than it limit how far it can go.
Sure, I can buy that. All right, so it'll be somebody that you have a connection to, that you know and have met. If you are trying to go off of something that if you're trying to, like, let's say somebody says, will you help me find my cat? And they show you a picture, you can try, but it'll be at a severe disadvantage. Otherwise, you're just going to be rolling plus magic. But for this first level, I'll give you this. Full success allows you to locate them and communicate with them.
Okay.
Partial.
This down.
Sure. Partial will allow you to locate them. Failure will send your location to them.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Cool.
Okay.
Let's come up with a cool name, so I'm not calling it Cerebro all the time. Although, I mean, we've got lightsabers. I'm not worried from a wheel standpoint. I just, well, we can make things our own. I think that would be fun.
Psychic location, kind of like echolocation, but psychic location.
Metavoice said scrying.
Love it.
Who said scrying?
Scrying.
Metavoice.
Yeah, Metavoice did.
Nice.
Scrying works for me.
Okay.
Merc says braindar.
That's the street term for it. Okay.
Yep.
So you guys are going to get a little bit more XP, so we might click up another level if you have something prepared. But first, I'm going to address something that I did from the epilogue, something that Tag called me out on, and rightfully so. So in my little post episode send-off, I said that CNAC 88, after looking at the destruction of the apartment, put his mask back on. Tag reminded me that his mask was left behind. So instead of just erasing that, I'm actually going to clarify, because the mask itself isn't what I want, but there is something about the character that I think is important. So when you see CNAC after the events of the last episode, when he appears in the sky at night and looks at the destruction he's wrought before turning back into this corrupted individual, he does lift a mask back onto his face. You can see that he is fashioned a new disguise because his old one had burned off during the encounter. This one is similar. It's a black ensemble, but it is much more obviously homemade. And he's wrapped himself in different cloths that maybe he's even stitched together on his own. And he does raise a mask onto his face to protect his identity. But it is not the mask that you have. It is now just something he's made. It's a slab of featureless metal. And in the section where his eyes would be, there's just 2 red X's that have been drawn with an oil pen. And so he is still in a disguise, but he's no longer in what you saw him in originally. And you do have the magic deflecting mask.
Robot with X's over the eyes. What a cool image. Wherever did it come from?
I only steal from the best. Okay, so in the game, as we're about to drop back in, we're going to do a little bit more book work, but we can start to tick this forward in fiction. I think everybody went to sleep because it's been a while. Yeah. It's when you wake up the next day, it is now day 2, Tuesday morning. Your board debriefing is going to be Friday morning. First question is, what did you do with the body?
Yeah, that's a good question. We probably don't want to leave it overnight. Yeah.
Probably. What? Put it in the bar in a booth?
I don't think he could sit up.
Like Weekend at Bernie's, the body?
Yeah.
When you try to move him, it is
sloshy.
It feels like it might not be a good idea. It feels like you're picking up a garbage bag, and not like a thick hefty, but like a garbage bag that's been full of pudding.
So like a pudding sausage.
This is Tag speaking, not me. We got to call his mom, right? Rex, I know that not just Rex, anyone. I know that she's scary, but her son is dead, and we know this. We have a responsibility to let her know, or if not her directly, then I mean, are we planning to dispose of a body?
Does she think it's us that killed him, though? I don't want to.
But yeah, Bryn,
I agree. I mean, she has a right to know that her son has died. I don't know how to broach it with her. I don't know her well enough. She's kind of scary. She's very scary, I agree, but it's, in our line of work, there's always going to be a connection. It seems that violence follows us. I don't think that we can I don't think that the fear that we might be connected is enough reason to hold back on this.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. I think it's maybe time for us to establish where our loyalties lie, like what it is, whether or not we feel morally obligated. I mean, we're definitely not legally in danger,
We're not legally in danger if we dispose of a body?
No, if we tell Kale.
Oh, okay.
So just on like a moral, like on an ethical level, it does, however, alert her to the whereabouts of the OSI device. Unless we want to leave that part out. I think maybe it would also behoove us to figure out exactly what it is we're trying to do here. Is it locate the OSI device so we can take it and get rid of it? Is it trying to keep it in the hands or out of the hands of anybody in particular? Because if that's our ultimate goal, it may not benefit us to alert Kale just yet to the status of her son.
Well, and I think the Tag is, I think the Tag's having a tough time, and Connor, don't know why it is yet, but intuitively I think that he's he's not getting angry, but he's just kind of getting distraught by this. It's really hitting. I think the idea of being an orphan himself and something about, if he died, there not being parents to tell is making it seem so much worse that there is someone who knows their child, who has that connection, who wouldn't know when something like this happens. And he says, the OSI device, sure, yes, to all of it, I agree, but we can be selective about what we say, right? I mean, Sam, you're an expert at talking cool, but she's got to know that her kid is dead.
Yeah, I agree with you that that there's definitely a concern for having clear communication and trying to help these familial bonds. I think you and I may just come from different schools of thought in that, and the whole blood is thicker than water thing has just always been true for me. It doesn't really seem like they were particularly close. And not to dismiss the sentiment of it, just simply wanting us as a team to figure out what it is we're trying to achieve here before we choose our course of action.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's fine.
And I can appreciate your feeling, Tag, but although I can't say that I know her well. I know her better than any of you, I would say. And
absolutely.
If she thinks we are somehow responsible for her son's death, she will kill us all.
Oh, well, good thing we're not responsible, right? Right?
Hence why I thought about moving the body and then alerting her, and we won't be tied to it. That was why I tried to move the body.
Because we're lying about it. What happens if we get found out? Isn't that so much more suspicious that we felt like we had to hide the body or move the body?
It's not about that. It's simple. Look, I appreciate your urgency in wanting to, not have a dead body in the room with you. I know that's a lot. And it seems like there's also some issues in terms of the child-parent relationship that is, triggering you right now.
No, I don't. Seriously? And the tag looks at Brenda. Seriously? Oh, okay.
As this conversation's happening, the camera kind of floats past all of you and zooms into Sam's phone. And it says, there's a little clock, a digital clock readout on the bottom of it. And it's currently 6:59. And the moment it clicks over to 7 a.m., the phone rings.
Is it AM or PM?
AM.
Ugh, it's early.
Okay. I go over, sit down, let it ring 2 or 3 more times, put my feet on the desk, and then pop up the receiver. Oh, it feels good. It's got a cord and everything. Sam Hagen, Private Eye.
Time out here, just so we're all clear. I had this scene planned in my notes, so I just wanted to let you know. Okay, untime. Hagen, it's Kale.
Oh, hang on. Right, your notes. The fucking Bible of the show from which we never veer.
I just don't want you to think I'm doing it to fuck.
Catfish. You just, you use the rules when they benefit you, and you don't when they don't. I'd have let it slide. I'd have been into it, except you tried to wash your hands of it.
Hagen, it's Kale.
Kale, how are you?
Adequate. I want an update.
Oh, yeah, we are in process of locating the OSI device.
And my son? I can drive a truck through this pause, Hagen. I just want to let you know that I have people installed at the parlor, and they saw him leave with your summoner last night.
He's dead.
What happened?
It appears that this device that you wanted to keep under wraps was used to infiltrate my office, where the person who has it killed him and then escaped.
Where is the device now?
It is with whoever the person is who did this. If I had it in my possession, I'm going to be honest with you, I probably would have smashed it, but I don't, so. I'm sorry about your kid.
Where is he now?
He's here at the office.
I will send someone to pick up the body. Is there a body to pick up?
There is. I'd recommend transport of some sort, a stretcher, or I don't know.
Shovel.
He's the body is fragile, let's just say.
I would prefer that news of this tragedy does not get out. I will be sending a team who will know how to be discreet. I would appreciate if you keep this to yourself.
Certainly, I know we've had our differences in the past, but yeah, I'm not trying to throw this in anybody's face.
I am prepared to continue with our contract and honor the original agreement if you are able to retrieve the device from me.
Like I said, we're working on it. We've got some leads.
That would mean when you do obtain it, you do not smash it.
Yeah, that's just the 7 a.m. in me talking. I'm sure once I've had a hot cup of joe and some cold Chinese food, I'll be much cheerier in my disposition.
I hope that is true, Sam, because it is not lost on me that my son was killed while in your protection. My back is against the wall with this device. There's no reason for me to keep those cards hidden. But I will have you know that if I am not holding onto that device before your meeting with the board, I will erase you, and I will erase each of your friends. And then I will send people whose sole purpose in this organization is to be sent on such missions to the planets they come from. And I will erase every trace of them in this system. You will not leave Void. There will be no out for you, Hagen. I'll burn your district. You understand?
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. Somewhere between blah and blah. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't threaten me. Otherwise, we're going to actually have a serious problem here. You're going to try to take everything from me? I've had everything taken from me before. You want to play games? We can play games. Like I said, I haven't had my copy yet. But I'm getting heated already. It's early. It's early for this, Kale. You want to do this dance? You want to do the dance? You want to dance with me on the phone?
I recognize that there's nothing to take from a man with nothing, and so I will focus on your friends who have a lot to lose. That will be your cross to bear, Hagen. It's not you I'm threatening, it's them. You just happen to be the gatekeeper. Are we clear?
Yeah. Crystal.
Expect a small team to retrieve my son's body. They'll be in plain clothes. I'll talk to you soon. And it cuts out.
So what'd she say?
Yeah, was she mad?
No. She was like, oh, just the usual, get the device or bad stuff. Lots of bad stuff. A large portion of that conversation was the specific order and detail of the bad stuff and to whom it would occur. So yeah, but she took the death of her son pretty well. She cares more about the device, it seems like. She's gonna send some dudes with a big straw to take care of.
So I think that the camera floats past you guys again and goes to Sam's futuristic fax machine. And it says, the clock on it says 7:04. And the moment it clicks over to 7:05, it goes doot, 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 and a fax comes out.
Jesus.
Wait, do you want to tell all the Gen Zs what a fax machine is? Because they might be very confused right now.
Magic paper that gets sent over the phone lines.
I think fax machines are going to make a comeback. I really do.
You still use them in business quite a bit. Like when you need a hard copy contract stuff like that. It's still. Anyway, gee, God, fucking why? Somebody put some coffee on. This is ridiculous. Oh my god.
Tag started making coffee. He doesn't. Actually, no, he's pretty. Tag, I think, makes a mean cup of Joe. So yeah, Tag's gonna start making coffee.
That's your whole thing.
Okay, great.
Wait a minute. Out of game, is there? There's not malice on this planet, is there?
No. As far as you've seen, Half-Dad has honored the agreement he made. He is hands off. You do know that the company is currently plugged into the malice dimension, and so the world won't be clean of it, but Half-Dad's making no, as you've seen, no moves against you.
And we were sent here. Is this where the key is? And the door is on Silva Celeste. Okay, so that's why we were originally sent here, was to get this key.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. What does the fax say? I go over and...
It's actually a very formal note. There is heading. What's it called?
Greeting?
Like the thing that you have if it's like my personal stationery. What is that?
Letterhead?
Yeah, there's a letterhead on it of the Void Planet Summoner family. The Dietrich family. The name is coming in hot from chat. I believe Meta Voice got us that name, but there was a discussion and kind of about it. But it is an invitation to the Summoner family's estate, and it is addressed to Summoner. Bryn, what's your last name?
Cosaint.
Cosaint. Summoner Cosaint and Parallel.
Oh wow!
I got a
there's no time. It's a very simple invitation. It just kind of says, we would love to host the visiting summoner at our estate whenever is convenient.
A summoner is not trying to kill us. Oh my god!
Well, I don't want to necessarily rule that out.
Do we really ever know? I mean,
you would assume, Bryn, that this is your mother making the connection that you asked her to make.
Yeah, if she wouldn't, well, I don't think she would lead us into the lion's den. I think we're totally okay to meet these people. Plus, they could maybe help us. It's their planet. What was that?
The Dietrich estate. It's not far.
Yeah. Before you guys decide where to go next, the last little bit of business is that at the beginning of this arc, I spoke of objectives and there being a reward for completing them. Your first objective was to find out what happened to Miss Kale's son.
We did!
You did. So with completing that objective, you are now all awarded 1 experience point each.
Yahoo!
Once that objective is complete, your little video game journal updates, and another one becomes available and says, find out who killed Fittich Kale. That one also completes because you know who did that, and you are all awarded another XP point.
So
and once
have to get a fucking paint job.
And once that happens, it populates with 2 more objectives. These are not complete.
Cup of Joe.
You wish.
Wake up.
The first one says find and secure the OSI device. The other one says pass your board debriefing.
Oh, no biggie.
Those are the next 2 objectives on your Void checklist, and they will be worth XP as well.
Thing says to make sure to ask to see their underwear when you meet them.
Did anybody level up from those 2 XP?
I'm close.
Okay, cool. So let's just see. We got Kale calls for an update, and Bryn gets invitation to Summoner Dietrich's estate. Okay, so you have a couple leads. What do you guys want to do next? You're welcome to all move together. You're welcome to separate.
Can we have one more scene button before making this decision? Like an in-scene button?
Please.
Okay, so We don't have a lot of time, and I know that we're not going to have a firm answer that's going to stay forever, obviously, but what the fuck is our plan? Sam was right to ask that question. Do we destroy the Vice? Do we? What the fuck do we want to do?
Well, I think step one is get it. And I've got a lead on that, so I, can follow that lead. And we got an invitation to breakfast, so, they might have mimosas. That's always nice.
I think there is as a character note or as a relationship note, I think there's a really great dynamic where Tag often comes in hot, and there's something about Sam and the way this relationship is developing from them, sharing a drink together on Haven forward, that it's just this incredibly grounding, calming force in Tag's life. And it's just, there's something about the way Sam talks that focuses Tag's neuroses, and so this explanation here, if we look at it intellectually, is not really offering much, but Tag is somehow just like, yeah, oh, okay.
Also, we still have fortune cookies left over from yesterday, so that's always a good way to figure out what to do.
My stomach grumbles. Can we eat those?
Oh yeah, I mean, we've got a whole fridge of Chinese food. I ordered the whole restaurant.
The whole fridge is full of Chinese food.
I've never
Sam
opened
ordered
a
the entire
cookie
menu
before.
We should bring some to the summoners so that we're not showing up empty-handed.
Fortune cookies?
I don't know much about summoner etiquette, but I feel like showing up with at least, at best, day-old Chinese food, not the best we could do.
Well, I think we would heat it up.
I think, I don't know, Bren, you tell us. Are summoners more of like a fruit basket or like gift basket type people?
Or like a chow mein type people?
Well, we appreciate pie, but I don't know what other planets like. What's the delicacy on Void?
Bad luck.
I think that is true. When you guys all are sitting there having this conversation and Bryn cracks into her first fortune cookie, she pulls out the fortune and it says, "You're bound to step in a puddle today. Bring a second pair of shoes." And as each of you crack into them, you can see that each of the fortunes is actually foretelling of bad luck. And it's kind of an inside joke on the Void planet.
I actually got a fortune cookie yesterday that said, in order to succeed, you must act today. And that felt like a personal attack. Out of game, I wanted to share that with you all.
Okay, so you've got the two big leads, and I'm only reiterating these not to change plans, but because we tend to go fucking crazy as soon as we end up at a new location. Just to kind of give us our two major leads right now, you've got the summoner invitation and all signs pointing to Opera House.
Yeah.
We can do this in however you'd like, but as of right now, those are the kind of the two big lights at the end of the tunnel.
What are the signs pointing to Opera House?
There was sorry, please, Sam.
Oh man, I can never remember his name. Turd Ferguson?
I got it right.
Turd Ferguson too.
York Ferdling.
York Ferdling. Yeah, the note that sold out our location was in his handwriting and written on stationery from the Opera House, as well as a code that I cracked of theirs has drop points all around that area. So in terms of tracking down the people who knew we were here, ultimately getting that information to CNAC, we can assume that we might be able to pick up their trail there. So seems like the best way that I can think of to find the OSI device at this point.
Okay.
I pick up Sam's mostly empty bottle of whiskey at this point, and I kind of swirl it around, and I say, if we are going to the Summoners, we could bring him some of this. It's good.
Yeah. By the way, you should definitely have some Chinese food before we go. You've had quite a lot of alcohol in a very short amount of time, and you will probably feel better if you eat.
Rex has already been going through all of the little boxes and smelling each of them to determine which ones are actually still edible.
I think
I just bought it yesterday.
It's been not a... She's had quite a bit of alcohol, but I think she's... And correct me if I'm wrong, Rex. I feel like it's not been a short amount of time. I feel like you've been up drinking all night.
Even better?
Worse. I would say worse. I'm just saying it's a... I think that is more representative of her mental state than a couple quick shots. I think it was a long night for Rex.
Yep.
Probably sitting in Sam's chair, pulled around the side of the desk, and just looking at footage.
Yeah, probably
Accurate.
sit up and
Does the Opera House have a novelty shop in it? I bet we could find some gifts in there.
it's derelict. Not the gift shop.
It's derelict.
Opera.
What would you like to do?
I'm not opposed to splitting up. I think the opera shop is a opera shop. The opera stop the opera, the shop. The one-stop shop for your opera socks is sounds good.
We've seen what this device is capable of. I fear it continuing to remain in dangerous hands.
Oh yeah, me too. Do you?
Well then,
what does that mean?
If Sam thinks he's got some leads on the O05 device, I think that's what we should be following. Or at least that's what I intend to be following. Because even though I don't quite feel like it right now, I do think I want to keep living.
Right.
All right. Well, it sounds like Rex and I could go to the Opera House, and the summoner and her parallel, according to this piece of paper, are cordially invited to ye old, biscuits and gravy. So you guys can have a good time hobnobbing with the classy folks, and me and Rex can finish off this bottle on our way to the Opera House.
To point out that I will be also prying them for information about the Morellis and about a bunch of other stuff. So this is not going to be just all recreational fun chatter.
Okay, well, then we will also keep our recreation to a minimum as we track down the device. You hear that, Rex? Hey, that's enough. You've had enough. Enough.
Yeah, it is. It's empty.
Okay. I think that it's great that you guys want to split up. I want to ask both parties for patience. I feel like if we are able to dig in a little bit, we are going to cut back and forth, but I don't plan it to be as frenetic as it has been in the past. So I guess I'll just ask you, quick poll, where would you like to begin? Which team first?
Opera.
Okay. So you guys leave, and on your way out, you see a group of 4 burly-looking people. They are wearing sweatsuits, and you can clearly see weapons concealed underneath these sweaters. And they nod to you and walk directly to Sam's office, and you get the impression quite quickly that these are the plainclothes goon squad that Kale was sending. And they just continue on without saying a word. And you get down to the street, and you split up. Okay, so Rex and Sam, you make your way towards the Beacon Opera House. When you get a few blocks away, you enter into a rather large and what was probably once beautiful park, but it is quite overgrown now. It seems like the park, if the Opera House is in fact derelict, the park is beginning to get the same treatment. And as you are, let me see, I think I got this ready. Yeah, you make your way through the Opera Park. It is a warm day, and a subtle breeze rustles the bushes. The park is overgrown, unkempt, but peaceful. There are not any people around. Somebody roll lore.
I feel like that should be you, sir. I feel like I'm not on top of my game right now.
All right, so, yeah. Lore. Oh, dear heaven, merciful, silly gooses. Well, I leveled up, so there's that, but...
Oh, no.
Wow, and that's my best stat. Okay, yeah. Sam's too busy eating his Chinese food. He's not paying attention to anything. He's just talking and, be like, oh, yeah, like, I don't have to pay attention until we get, like, much closer to the opera house. God, I love noodles.
Yeah,
I also love noodles.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. You guys love noodles. You're eating them out of the box. Kind of like Rex is trying to, like, get noodles on chopsticks into Sam's mouth while they're walking. And you cut through the park. And as far as you know, it's just a big old empty park. Okay. When you get to the other side of it, you see the Beacon Opera House blends into... this scene was supposed to be at night, so I'm having to change some of these descriptions. Okay, so the Beacon Opera House is just at the end of the park. There's a couple big, probably like 1.5 feet deep pools that would lead to fountains that are not on. A big plaza with a circular driveway, but it's all empty. There's a couple parking lots that you can see out back, but that's about it. The parking lot is empty. The windows that aren't boarded up are quite dark. The place is built like a fortress, and it is very quiet, which fills you with unease. How would you like to approach? It looks like there are some... Everything seems to be boarded, but it doesn't look like it's nailed with steel. We're looking at like particle board, couple 2x4s, just your regular old boarding up. There's a big main door. You can assume that there's probably some side entrances. How would you like to handle entering the Beacon Opera House?
So what's the plan, Sam? That almost rhymes.
I guess the first question is, do you want to do it now or later?
Do what?
Step in that puddle.
Oh, now. And then Rex just jumps in the puddle.
Okay. You jump into the fountain, and it comes up to about mid-shin, and the moment you hop in, you realize you've made a big mistake because it is very stinky, and you can see that there is mosquito larvae throughout. It is just a gross, still pond. But nothing bad happens other than you feeling quite gross.
Ugh.
It was bound to happen.
Got out of the way.
You did. And you got it done on your own terms, which is important.
That's right. That's goddamn right.
It is. And the timing of these things is really important. We won't know why until later, but got to obey the fortune cookie. Always obey the fortune cookie.
On this approach, do you guys want to, just in like a general sense, do you want to just walk up to the front door? Do you want to be sneaky? What's the flavor of what you're trying to do?
Okay, so it's 7 a.m, and we're going to be trying to avoid being spotted by anybody who would normally be sneaking around here. So it's going to be best, counter to most people's...
That is a pretty good one.
That is a great freeze face.
Yeah.
What if he was just fucking with us? And he was like...
I can't tell. He freezes really well.
Yeah, I would be impressed if he was just messing with us, but I do not think that he is. Well, in his absence, I will say that Rex is still functional enough to know that she should be quiet, but I don't know how capable of being quiet she is.
Okay.
So I think there is some amount of like trying to look like we belong here that's happening, but I don't know how effective it actually is.
Okay, you want to sneak or you want to act casual?
I want to act casual, like we belong here. We're supposed to be here.
Okay, this is just going to be a charisma roll.
Oh, great.
Now, does your fervor apply to this or just when you're dealing with speaking to people?
I want to, for my own purposes, I want to say yes, absolutely this applies, but at least the way it was written, it sounded more like when I was interacting directly with people.
Okay.
So we're just going to hope for a very good roll. Ha 9.
Okay, I think you do a pretty good job. And are you just heading to the front door?
I think the training still holds. I'm going to case the joint before I try the front door.
Okay, you guys make a couple rounds around the opera house, and you're just acting casual. Sam's very impressed by you. You're able to walk a straight line. And as you circle, you see, Sam, welcome back. Rex has decided that you guys are going to act casual, which I think is what you were going for, and you're now casing the joint. As you make your lap around the opera house, you see that there is, in fact, a stage door towards the back and a couple loading bays. The stage door seems to be boarded up kind of like the front. The loading bays seem to be a bit more... people went to greater lengths to board them up, I think just because they weren't traditional doors and they're a bit larger, so they just have more shit blocking them. But there is a stage door as well. And that is tucked back around a corner. You could imagine... I guess opera singers wouldn't smoke. You could just imagine that they go out there to take the air in between acts.
The crew still smokes.
The crew still smokes. Yeah, so as of right now, you have not seen a soul. It's not crazy because the park and this building are abandoned. So there's some graffiti on the walls, and but there isn't any people out for like a jog in this area of the city. There's nothing happening this early in the morning right now. Nobody's in the park. You haven't seen anybody. What would you like to do?
You're gonna get inside. We got to investigate. See if we can't find something special.
Okay, you got front door, stage door, or loading bays?
Front door. Anybody we're trying to avoid is going to be sneaking in. So okay. The best way to avoid sneaky people is by not being sneaky.
Okay. You circle back around to the front door and take your time sidling up to it, and you can see that it's just been big pieces of particle board have just been set against the doors and drilled in. The particle board is actually starting to be pretty weather worn, and so it doesn't look too sturdy, and a couple 2x4 cross beams cover that. How would you like to get in?
See if it's unlocked.
Okay. You actually can't reach the doors. These boards are over the top of them. So before you can get to the doors, you'll need to deal with the boards. We're really looking for like... is Rex just going to like rip them off? Or
I was just going to say, hey, okay. Sam, you want me to rip them off?
Maybe not rip them off. Maybe lift it up. See if that works.
Yeah. Rex, you're strong enough. This is not going to require a check. You're able to just grab a hold of one of these boards and pull. And because it is weather worn, the screws actually just, punch through the plywood and you pull it off. But the moment it comes free, you hear a from behind you. And you turn, Rex still holding the plywood, to find a scrawny chap with Coke bottle glasses and a cowlick. He's wearing a white lab coat. Sam, you recognize him immediately as the fellow who was tailing you on your way to Jork Ferdling's apartment. He has a double-barreled Void blunderbuss aimed at you, and he's moving it between the two of you. And he says, "Nobody move, nobody gets blasted. What are you doing here?
Well, which is it? Do you want us to talk or not move?
I prefer you speak while not doing anything that would cause me to blast you.
I gesticulate a lot. Is that going to be a problem?
You're holding a rather large piece of wood, so as long as you don't throw it at me, I think we're going to be okay.
Great. What was the question?
I turn to Sam and I try and whisper and I say, should I throw it at him?
Well, let's figure out what he wants. What did you say your name was?
My name is Egbert.
Egg? What'd you say?
Egbert. I'm sorry, something funny, ma'am.
Nope. It's a cool name. My name's Rex.
He nods.
I think it means king in Latin.
Despite his kind of nerdy appearance, his movements are graceful, and he is very confident with the weapon. And as he's talking to you, a little metal robotic piece moves forward and flips in front of his eye, and you can see that it's probably like a modified company targeting device.
Ooh.
And he goes and scans the both of you.
That's fancy.
What are you doing here?
We are sightseeing. We
we were going to build a fire later, and this wood seems pretty dry, so I thought I would
to dry off her feet, because we were in the fountain and now she's all wet, so we needed some wood. This just seemed like the logical way to do it.
Okay, I know who you are, Sam Hagen, and I know you as well, Problem Solver, though I do not know you by name. So let's just cut the shit. I've been following you now for a while.
I definitely didn't just tell you my name.
Rex.
Sorry, it's been a long night. So
I imagine so. I've been tailing you.
Yeah, I saw you the other day. So just please forgive us if being under threat of death isn't as alarming as it was previously. We promise, Egbert, we take you completely seriously.
He pushes his glasses up on his nose when you say that and squints at you.
Rex is nodding solemnly over the board.
So you're like a Five Eyes, because you've got the two, the glasses, and then you're aimer. So that's like a lot of layers.
Yes, and while that is an insult, I'm sure, I would be able to hit you at a much farther distance, so I would keep the tough talk to yourself, Gumshoe.
Well, we're really close right now. So it's not that impressive to shoot us from this distance, Right, Rex?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be impressed at this distance. Anyway,
a 3-year-old kid could hit us from this distance.
Yeah,
This isn't for tracking you right now. This is scanning to see if you have any company technology hidden amongst your person. It looks like there is just one device I cannot account for besides your executive card there, Rex. And that is some kind of interference device.
The pen.
Yes. So it seems like you're clean. I'll ask you one more time. I'm just trying to find out what it is you're doing here.
What are you doing here?
Well, it just so happens my boss wanted me to keep an eye on you, and I didn't want you snooping around our pad.
Oh, this is your pad?
Not mine personally, but it is the current facility that we are using.
Do you need some help fixing it up? It looks pretty broken.
That's the way we like it.
Gotcha,
it keeps prying eyes away. As you can see, we've done much work to ensure it blends into the surroundings.
Sneaky.
So wait, who do you work for?
I am a scout for the Whitecoats.
And I turn to Sam and I say, is there another group we have to keep track of?
Out of character, do I know the Whitecoats? Is that the group that was starting to interfere on the Morelli's territory? Or
yeah, you can put it together. It seems to be the name of the local faction of the rebels. And as you look closer, you see that he has a little badge on the inside of his shirt when his white lab coat moves that is of a cute little boy holding a donut with two ducks kissing in the middle of it.
Yep, that's the rebel badge.
Boy, I thought.
What was it?
I thought it was a little girl. I thought it was like the kind of like the sunscreen girl.
Yeah, that works. I just couldn't quite remember.
Coppertone girl.
Oh, well then, right. So, just so you know, your boy who took control of the O-side device has gone berserk and has started killing people. He's kind of out of control. So you guys might want to rein that in before it causes you more grief than you guys can handle. I'm sure as soon as the company and the Morellis find out, they'll be all over you guys. So
you could see his first reaction when you say the words OSI device is to immediately feign ignorance. But as your explanation continues, he drops that and says, shit. Well, unfortunately, I am just a scout.
Great.
But there are people we should deliver this information to.
Yeah, take us there.
He goes over and he asks you, Rex, to just replace that board.
Kind of attached to his board now, but fine.
You lean it up against the wall. He says, we'll get somebody out here to fix that in a moment. And he goes over to where the will call window is and reaches under a gap in the boards and interacts with something. And you can see two of the other boarded doors swing open with hydraulics that are much shinier on the inside. And he leads you into the lobby, which is spacious with high ceilings. But because all of the windows are boarded, there's just a little bit of sunlight that dapples the room. And you can see that it is a derelict lobby.
I'm still looking for a gift shop just in case they have a second trip to the other summoner's place. I'm just,
There is one at the other end of the lobby. It's kind of dark, but it looks like maybe they have some like shit that people didn't take. On your way out, you might be able to snag a couple like shot glasses and a t-shirt. The floor is covered in dust, but when you take a second to look at it, you can clearly see that there are fresh footprints moving from here to what would be the door to the auditorium. And when you walk into that with Egbert leading the way, he opens the doors to the auditorium, and inside you're surprised to find light and warmth with the bustle of busy hands. A makeshift headquarters has been set up on the opera stage. Desks, typo transmitters, a bank of phones, these crowd the boards. An old backdrop still hangs proudly behind. It's of a villa surrounded by like a vineyard, and it's atop a seawall. And there's just a couple dozen people streaming from the audience up into the stage where this headquarters is, moving very quickly. They all seem to be very busy. And when the door closes shut behind you, everybody stops and looks. And every single one of them is wearing a white lab coat. And we cut to the grand grounds on the entrance of the Diedrich estate, where Tag and Bryn have just stepped out of a cab. What you're looking at here is a mansion of mansions. There's probably 100 yards deep of decorative landscaping, several different, probably man-made, but natural-looking ponds connecting streams, tall plants, rolling green fields. And back there is just a very, very large villa. So you step out of the cab. Is there any preparations that you wanted to make before you came?
Yeah, Tag says to Rex, look, you can tell me that we shouldn't do this, but I did bring crab rangoons. So we don't have to give it to him, but I just wanted for us to have the option. So we do have crab rangoon.
That was to Rex or to me?
Oh, I'm sorry, to Bryn. Did I say to Rex?
You did. I mean, crab rangoons are delicious, and I did hear that this was the planet of indulging, so that sounds kind of indulgent.
Okay, cool. I got mixed signals back at Sam's office. I didn't know if it'd be dumb or not. I don't want to do it if it's dumb, but
I don't think it's dumb.
Okay.
As long as they're not, like they were in your pocket smashed or anything. Do they look okay?
Yeah, they look delicious.
Okay. Shoot. I've got like this. I always carry this little vial of the river water from my planet. I could give them that.
Oh.
As a home, like kind of a welcoming gift from the fire planet.
That's really sweet of you, Shit.
Well, I think that they would go together. So hopefully they'll be okay with it. I don't know. I've never met a summoner that wasn't trying to kill me, so.
Or dying.
Right. Or dying. Or dead.
Well, this is exciting.
I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Tag rings the doorbell.
Yeah, it's actually like a leisurely and beautiful stroll all the way up to the door. You can see in the distance that there's like groundskeepers working. It seems to be like a full staff that is maintaining this place, but nobody hassles you. You must be expected, and you are able to take your time getting all the way up to the door, and there is a doorbell, which Tag rings. There's just a moment before the door swings open. Tag, I didn't think of this until just now, but I had kind of a blank slate anyways. I figured I would just wing the description. I think that you recognize the parallel. The parallel opens the door. I remember Violet being the woman who you were close to who did not make it out of her trial. Was there anybody else from your memory that is worth noting, or should we just have somebody now?
Let's, as far as a personality or a name?
Somebody that we've spoken of that you are fond of and would like to see again.
I don't think so. I think we're creating that right now.
Okay.
We could choose for it to be someone that I'm fond of, but I don't think that that's been established in lore.
Okay, so let's just get a quick snapshot. This person's name is Moksha, and she is standing in front of you wearing the appropriate leisure parallel armor, but still functional battle suit. And you see them, and we get a snapshot of your last memory of meeting or of seeing Moksha on Silvo Celesso. Do you have an idea?
Yeah, let's say that she was kind of the hot shot of the previous graduating class. So this was kind of before I was anybody there. So she really only knows me as someone who would be doing the laundry, serving her meals, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Moksha throws open the door and says, "Welcome to the Dietrich estate."
Sorry. Hi, Moksha.
She looks at you. There is recognition, but you can see her like trying to figure out how she knows you. She knows you, but she can't like place it.
So, yeah, you would not remember me, but I'm a big fan of yours. I was on the moon. Here, maybe this will help. Ready?
tag.
E04?
What? You're a parallel.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We'll have to catch up. And she steps back and then bows to Bryn.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Brynith von... And Tag is locked eyes with Bryn. He's starting to panic. Telepathically, he's just like, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. She's really cool. And anyway, Bryn Cosate, parallel. Summoner. I'm the parallel. She's the summoner.
Moksha chuckles in her bow and tries to hide it, and then stands up straight and says, "It is my greatest honor, Summoner Cossaint, to introduce you to." And she turns and gestures, and as you step into the foyer, you see a very grand staircase. And walking down it, you see the Void Summoner in training. They are wearing elegant, form-fitting robes of royal purple. Their hair is thick and jet black, cut into symmetrical locks. Their makeup is rather stylish and formal, with the angles of the face highlighted with different shades of purple. Their lipstick is black, as are their fingernails. And Bryn, oddly enough, they are not carrying a staff. They are, however, wearing a gaudy ring on their right hand with a prominent purple gemstone. And they look completely at ease, taking their time down this staircase. And when they get there to the foyer, they dip into a low bow and say, "Welcome to my planet, Summoner Cossaint."
Thank you so much for the invitation, Summoner Dietrich.
Yes.
And I behind my back, I kind of try to do a very subtle handoff of the crab rangoons to Bryn behind her back.
And I grab them. This was such short notice, I didn't have time to bring you moonberry pie from my planet or fire whiskey, but I hope that you will accept these delicious homemade crab rangoons and our special healing water from the fire planet.
The summoner puts two hands on their heart, and Moksha actually steps forward and grabs them. And the summoner says, "What a wonderful gesture." Actually, they close their eyes for just a moment and then point behind you, and there's a delivery driver that looks like something from the Void Planet equivalent of Uber Eats hustling up. And Moksha steps forward and signs for it, and then comes back and says, "We also got you crab rangoons." And they hand it to you. And the summoner says, "Please, please, come in." And they lead you into the house. And there is, it's for as large as this place is, you would expect many rooms, and there's space for it, but it's all kind of open. You can see in the center of this very large place, there's a sunken courtyard that looks like a training area or like a dojo. And then in the other places, there's the two front areas are kind of like parlors, but there's no walls or curtains around them. There's these areas where there's large floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. They're like freestanding libraries on either side of the training area. And then in the back, you can see a long dining table and then a sitting area, which is where you're actually led through one of the parlors in between some of the stacks. And when you're going through, you can see just a variety of books. There's ancient texts. There's also murder mysteries. It looks like a library that gets a lot of use. A lot of the spines of the books have been broken in. And you're led back to the sitting area where there's just a lot of very comfortable couches. There's a spread, a little buffet spread. There are mimosas. There's a fuckload of different kinds of macaroons. And then there's like a waffle bar and some bacon and some eggs and some cheeseburgers. And the summoner says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know what to prepare, so I just had them put a little bit of everything. Please help yourself. Sit. Let's get comfortable. It is such an honor to have a summoner here."
Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to meet a summoner that's so kind and welcoming.
I agree.
And a lot.
Please. Yes, I've heard that. Well, my father is away, headed to Silva Celesso right now for the Summoner Council meeting.
So
I've
my mom.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! So you're in charge here too.
I am. Yes. I've had quite a bit of training. I do feel confident, though this is the first time I've ever been left completely alone on planet.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been alone on my planet, but I've been alone on other planets, and it's completely terrifying. And my mother expects me to just know what to do. Try not to call her very often.
I spoke to her.
You spoke to my mom?
She arranged. Well, she requested she informed me that you would be on planet, and I, of course, wanted to extend an invitation immediately. But yes, she gave me the nutshell of some of your recent exploits, and it sounds like you've been up to no good in the best way.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. And I start loading waffles on my plate.
Sure.
Do you have any fried chicken?
We can very soon, and
No, I was just wondering if you had it. It's okay. You don't have to.
No, please. It's no trouble at all. They gesture to a staff member who is standing in a place that you would not have noticed had they not gestured, and they say, "We will go with the chicken. You were right. Thank you." And they go and.
I've never had fried chicken and waffles, and I'm so excited to try it.
It is, I am sure, delicious. They actually just grab like 3 kiwi slices and set it on a very small plate and grab a very small fork and sit down across from you.
Oh my goodness. Your house is so beautiful. It's so different. You have so many books. We don't have access to very many books. I could sit here for, I don't know, a century reading. This is incredible.
Yes, that is the benefit of living at the center of the universe. We are in the hub of every major trade route, so it is not difficult for us to get just about anything, literature included. It is one of my favorite parts of the house, though I find the rest a bit overwhelming.
And I'm shoveling it, and I'm like, "Where's your staff?"
They are about. At
no! I mean, like your
Oh.
Staff.
They don't know quite how to answer and say, "I am familiar with the custom of the other worlds. We do not carry. The Void Summoner traditionally does not carry a staff."
Oh. Do you get something even like cooler, like I don't know, like nunchucks?
They laugh and adjust their bangs, and when they do, your eyes are drawn again to the very large ring on their finger and the purple gemstone therein. And they say, "No, I do wish we were given nunchucks, though I'm sure they would not be difficult for me to conjure."
I have so many questions. I'm trying not to be rude. I'm sorry. I just.
Sure. Yes. As they are speaking, Moksha approaches and stands behind them, over the right shoulder, comfortably. You can see as the talk of weapons and staves is kind of on your mind, Moksha actually has a bow on her back, but it does not have a string, and it looks to be made out of some kind of strange metal.
I'm trying not to stare.
The summoner says, please call me Ira. I'm happy to answer any questions. I realize this is your first visit to Void. I would love to answer any questions you have.
Okay, Ira, you can call me Bryn. And my parallel is Tag.
Hi.
A pleasure, Tag.
Nice to meet you. And Tag kind of awkwardly gets up and also stands kind of behind Bryn and can't quite decide where his hands should be, if they should be behind or in front or at the sides.
Moksha recognizes this and just... It's like clicking now. Something about you is starting to make more sense to Moksha. And she just watches you be uncomfortable and not know what to do and nods to herself.
And I think yeah. Okay, cool. I can't decide quite yet if he's... Yeah, well, if I can't decide, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Ira turns to Bryn and says, what can I do for you? I'm happy to help. I hear you are on a mission. Your mother was rather tight-lipped about it. I will not pry into business that is not my own, but our resources on this planet are vast, and I would love to assist in whatever way possible. I feel that building this bridge of ally, companion now will only benefit us when we step into our roles as the true summoners of these worlds, and why not get started now?
This sounds good. What's your relationship with the company?
They assist us in every aspect of ruling this planet.
They assist you? Do they assist you, or are they like kind of putting you in a corner and kind of controlling what you do? Or do you have free reign completely?
I guess I'd never thought about it. For now, I'm merely keeping an eye on things, but it seems as though my father has no friction with the company, perhaps because their goals align. There's no... I don't know how to answer. The relationship is beneficial to both parties.
I understand. I didn't know anything about the company until I went off planet and have started to realize that there might be some stuff going on behind the scenes that is not evident to everybody, and it might be for nefarious purposes. So I would just be careful with them. I can't offer any substantial anything at the moment, just stuff that we've seen them do some experimenting that was very inhumane on the water planet, and some other stuff that's happening. Do you know anything about the Morelli family?
Quite a bit. An unsavory sort. If there were any who were having friction with the company, it would definitely be the Morelli family, especially lately.
Well, okay. Well, we were sent... Well, when we got here, I'm gonna... How can I cast something to know whether I trust this person?
You want to cast a spell to find out?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is a version of what we're looking for in Use Magic. It is... Yeah, I mean, it's open enough that we're just going to go for it.
I'll offer, with not at all trying to take this away, but I think that is within Tag's wheelhouse. Stuff like tune in, different abilities that'll let him kind of identify a target's thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to do. I don't necessarily want to know what he's thinking. I think Bryn's natural instinct is to trust everybody that's nice to her. So, but the last several encounters on planets has kind of toned that down a little bit. So I want to be upfront because this is somebody I feel like I can trust because of their position, but I've also knew what happened with Farik and, with other people that I thought that I could trust. So I just want to get a vibe, like a.
Could we say that this turmoil is happening in Bryn's head, and because of your connection to Tag, perhaps he picks up on it and then offers to do his thing?
Yeah.
It is very much in the wheelhouse of him being able to read the thoughts of others.
Right.
Tag, would you like to tune in?
I will, yeah. But I will also keep it open, talking to Lisa, not Bryn.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be stealing your move. So if you got
I think maybe I opened connection and I'm like, Tag, I really want to tell him, but I'm not a good judge of whether I can trust people. I want to trust everybody, but I need to be more careful.
This is not related to psychic abilities. And I'm trying my best to not be a bum. Their pronouns are they, them, and they are presenting as gender neutral in their in everything about them.
Okay.
No, Bryn, I think that your discretion is beyond warranted. And even if we had not had the experiences that we've had, there's a lot going on, and it seems like if there is a theme to the Void Planet, it's playing your cards close to your chest, at least until you see what other people are doing.
Okay.
That is a 9.
Okay. So whenever Tag, something interesting happens. You are reaching out to get a read on Ira's vibe.
Oh shit! It's Moksha.
You see Moksha, who has been listening intently to the conversation. Nothing about her posture changes, but her eyes dart to you. And you know that your tune in has just been countered. And what does it say for a partial success to you?
Hold one.
Okay. What question were you going and asking?
What is it planning?
So the moment that question is transmitted by you, your answer to it floats to the surface of your brain, which is, what are you planning?
How much is Moksha tipping her hand? Is she looking at me in a clear, like, hey, I see what you're doing kind of way?
It's actually a reaction you have. It's like what's actually happening is, so on anything less than a full success, the spell is reversed. And so the effect is happening to you. And Moksha has now piloted the spell and is opening up that. So she's not going to be able to ask whatever she wants. She's just going to ask whatever you were going to ask, which is, what are you planning?
Okay. And do I get a response to that, or I answer?
Your first thing that you're going to do is going to be to answer that question, whatever you think your brain would produce. So it wouldn't be filtered. It would just be whatever you're planning. And you can take that however you want. In the moment, ultimately, in life, whatever. But we will say that the connection will be open. So if you would like to make a move while you are connected to Moksha, you will have an opportunity to do so. But you won't have a choice. You'll have to answer the question first.
Keep the summoner safe is my answer.
Okay. She smiles. You now have an opportunity to capitalize on this connection, which is just solidified between you and Moksha.
Okay, I think I'll just imperceptibly slight, wafer thin nod, and tries to wink and kind of just like blinks.
Okay. You're very cute, and it's probably the right move. Moksha is stone-faced, not even blinking.
Oh, I'm not flirting. Let me be clear. It's more of a I see you too.
Yeah, I figured.
Gotcha.
That was not misinterpreted as a flirt. It was like you were being like, hey, we're both parallels. We're trying to keep summoners safe, but there's nothing.
I guess I'll just tell you the thought behind. I don't think that this is the time for me to have a full conversation with Moksha, but it was more like, oh fuck, this is not. It basically saying like, oh shit, you got some new powers.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Huh? No, there's just there seems to be. I'm not trying to like stonewall you. What I'm trying to, I guess, what you realize is you've crossed a line.
Right.
Okay. Ira says, is there anything else that I can tell you?
Ira, I want to be super upfront. I just have learned the last couple months that a lot of people aren't what they seem. So if you can understand a little bit of my hesitation being forthcoming, I don't know where you stand in all of this. There's stuff that's been attacking all of the planets. The company is doing stuff that is not totally cool, and all of the summoners are meeting on a moon, which seems like a very dangerous setup to me, if you ask me.
Sure.
We're here for one reason, but we got sidetracked. There's a device called an OSI device that is circulating, and several people want it, including the company, and we are trying to locate it first so that we can figure out what to do with it, that it doesn't go into some bad hands. Sorry, that was a lot.
It's okay. I can tell you, Bryn. I too will put all of my cards on the table. How do I put this? My father is going to Silva Celesso to meet with the Summoner Council. The timing is inopportune, but I don't know that there's a choice. He will be addressing the larger issues of which you speak. It is difficult for me to give you perspective on this, but my purpose on this world is to maintain balance. Our population dwarfs that of every other planet combined. With supply lines cut as recently as they were, and the war of these factions happening now, I have very little time to deal with galactic intrigue. All of my efforts, all of my energy has been directed towards smoothing out the situation here on my planet and doing what is best for the millions of people here. The company has been a great asset in that. Their resources, they are the supply lines. And now that they've managed to drop the barrier around this world, we've been able to open up all of our supply lines. And so I do not know of what you speak as far as the larger things that are happening outside the atmosphere of this world, but I assure you, every move I make is in the best interest of the people that live here.
Did you hear about the apartment building that got incinerated?
Yes.
Yesterday? That was the device that we're trying to find.
Yes, I would be lying if I told you I had not heard of the OSI device.
Right.
I think that the devices, from what we've gathered, our intelligence, and they motion to Moksha, and they say, Moksha, I I don't understand any of it. Could you please... and Moksha nods and steps forward and says, we have several groups working towards... we have spies. We have spies in each of the factions in the company. We have spies. From what we know about the device, it is very unstable and very dangerous. We do not know the extent of its capabilities, but we do know that in the wrong hands, it can do what I'm sure it did last night. We would be very interested in procuring the device so that we could safely dispose of it. If you are able to get it, we would be happy to take it off of your hands and make sure that it does no more harm.
All right, I can go back to my team with that information. We're also looking at the company has made threats against my life and my team that are with, which I'm a little bit confused about because I'm pretty sure I thought a summoner outranked any company official. So we're playing a weird game right now where we're dodging in between the company, the Morellis. There's a faction of the rebels that are here, and we're trying to figure out the best way to work that to get our hands on the device.
Okay. Ira speaks up and says, I have a direct line to several of the board members at the company. I will delicately extend some feelers and find out what it is that's going on there.
All right.
It sounds like everyone on this planet is racing towards the OSI device as fast as they can. I will do what I can to help you win that race. I would hope that you will turn the device over to us when you obtain it. It seems that there is a lot that must be accomplished. I would love if we could meet again. You spoke of traveling with some more friends. I would adore if you could join me for dinner. And they look at Moksha and say, and they nod and look back to you and say, tomorrow night, your entire party. I will see what I can see, hear what I can hear, and make whatever moves I can to protect you and also aid you. But until I get the lay of the land with all of this new information, I don't know that I can promise you any specifics now. Perhaps we should just have a little breakfast, and forgive me, Summoner, for being so forward. You see, it's just because of the anti-magic field on this planet, it is rare to encounter a worthy opponent, and I was wondering if I might interest you in a summoner's duel. Yes. Mm-hmm. Just a sparring match, of course, just for fun. But Moksha and I would love to spar with you and Tag. And they gesture to the training area in the center of the room, which has since been cleared by an unseen staff.
You knew it, DS.
They rise out of their seat with that and gesture towards the arena and make their way. And before we cut back to the opera, we're going to take a very quick 2-minute break.
Woo!
It's raining outside.
I don't see sunny or rainy. They're all just days to me.
Okay, but clearly it's raining.
Is it? I mean, yes, obviously it is, but just to play devil's advocate for a moment, is it really?
Yes. Yes, it is. Look outside.
So you want it to be sunny all the time? Is that what you want? You want constant sunshine. Have you ever heard of a drought?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that it's raining.
Look, don't be such a hater. All days matter.
Dude, just look outside.
You know, my cousin was caught in a snowstorm last year. Where was the outrage then?
I'm just pointing out.
It rains so much more in India. You have to deal with so much less weather in this part of the world. But I don't know why you're complaining. True, it was raining, but it's completely stopped now. Ancient history. Get over yourself. I studied meteorology in high school, and the term is actually precipitation. The climate changes are clearly part of a natural cycle that has nothing to do with us. So, rain should be underrepresented. Maybe rain just writes better science fiction. This kind of negativity just propagates the conservative agenda. People who wear raincoats anyway, right? F you. You ignorant Did you back and your or were you just that way? I hope you get rained on. That'll teach you a lesson. To push this dry-hating cumulonimbus bull.
Had a little misunderstanding. Maybe we should go outside, take a walk. You can get some fresh air.
In the rain?
We get the final insert here and
All right.
break for second meal.
All right. Warm pocket cheese. I'm in. All right.
Okay, so are you familiar with how to fondle a
Nick?
Yes.
Nick, I'm going to shoot Christian's face. Shooting Christian's face.
Oh, come on.
No, you're gone.
All right. So apparently
We're
this
gonna
is
make a
just
movie.
like handling a nipple.
Okay.
So more pinch really hard.
Than isn't.
I'm going to pinch the
Okay,
nipple.
I'll pull focus now.
Work.
I need the back of your head, sir, and the front of yours.
It works at night.
Do you know? No, it's usually Ben that does
Okay,
this stuff.
okay. The sound of silence, because he's off camera and not talking, and Armageddon on that. Come on.
Still a double.
Whatever. Yes, I can do this.
Thanks.
No, you have to help.
Oh, what do I need
Just
to
take
do?
this here, and then
We'll
we're.
start on Leo's face before we go down. Get out.
All right, welcome back, Void Jumpers. We're going to leave the beginnings of our Summoner Duel and jump back to the opera, where Rex and Sam have just been led into the main auditorium and seen the makeshift White Coat headquarters for the Rebel base. Egbert, what was he, like a British dude? What I want to really get clear here is this Rebel army is a bunch of professors. Like, none of them look big or strong or tough, but there is like somebody cleaning like an Iron Man suit. There's like a bunch of fucking tech on these people. They just look outfitted in some of the wildest tech you've seen, but they're all wearing lab coats, suspenders, bow ties, thick glasses. Like, they just look like a bunch of the professors.
I think you see Rex taking all of that in and looking at all of them, and she just goes, "Nerds!
They're If you remember, the door closed behind you and they'd all turned to look. And so there's this moment of silence right before you erupt into that. And they kind of like dismiss you after that and turn back to their duties. And Egbert says, "Yes, well, that was wonderful." He steps over and talks to the best receptionist. It's like a mobile desk that's been set up next to this door to the auditorium, and there's you catch a few phrases back and forth, and he comes back over to you and says, "Yes, well, unfortunately, the boss is not here at the moment. He should be back soon. If you'd like to just wait, I'm sure it won't be long." Meaning, you will have an opportunity to check this place out if you'd like. There's a couple places of interest. If you want to go poking around, everybody's pretty busy. And so once you're satisfied, I'm pretty sure the person will show up. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to poke around. You can see from where you're standing that there is there's the stage itself, which is where the office is. Above you, you can see that there's a lighting booth, and there's some stairs in the back that would lead up to the lighting booth, where the technicians would kind of run the show. And you can see that back behind some of the curtains that have been pulled up on stage, there is a backstage area and a big garage door that leads to a shop.
Hear the noise, but I do believe we just got a donation.
Oh, we did we?
Yeah, and apparently I'm
Hail to the
also
king.
drunk. It's not just
Hashtag
Rex.
Rex.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, you brought it up
thanks,
because
Thing.
you just got something cool. Who was it? Thing?
Yeah,
Thing, yeah.
Thing.
Cheers, Thing.
Cheers, Thing. Okay, so you got a +1 whenever you want it. Would you like to check out any of the stuff while you're in this place?
Absolutely.
Recap is we got stage, backstage, shop, lighting booth.
Backstage for me.
Backstage will actually lead to the shop, so we can hit both in a row. When you get backstage, you can see that there's actually been everything in here is makeshift. Everything in here is homemade. You can see that there's been a hastily erected brig. And so on the wings, where you would normally have people waiting to enter, there's repurposed like sets that are on wheels. And it looks like they've turned a jail cell from an old opera into an actual jail cell for their little brig. And that's pushed into the back. And inside the jail cell, there is actually a person. And when you climb up onto the stage and start moving to the back, he grabs the bars and says, "You! What are you doing here?"
You! I don't know how, but it's your fault an entire building got incinerated.
What?
You just vanished, and then the giant robot showed up and incinerated the building. It's your fault somehow.
I will not take responsibility for something I had known nothing about. What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I was captured and thrown into this jail cell. I would very much like to leave, but unfortunately I cannot. There's a technician walking by, one of the white coats walking by, and they say, "You know this guy?"
This guy? No. He just seems annoying.
Yeah, he is. We picked him up outside. He was following you, poking around.
And I turn back to Poirot and I say, "J'accuse!"
Oh, sacre bleu! He lies to you, probably. I was infiltrating the white coat base. I was not following you. I beat you here.
To what end, my little friend? Who's not actually my friend. I'm just saying friend because it sounded kind of cool.
He looks around. The person that stopped to talk to you has moved on. Everybody seems kind of busy. there's no one task that needs anybody, but it seems like they're just understaffed to be running the rebel operation of the planet. So everybody's kind of doing some shit. Poirot raises a finger and says, "Come here, quickly, quickly." And you cross to him, and he says, "I'm doing the same thing you're doing. I'm looking for the Osai device. And I thought you might know where it was, so I was following you. Yes, you got me, j'accuse, so what? But I thought you might have it, so I was sneaking when these nerds, as you so eloquently put it, scooped me up and threw me in this cell."
Give us the manual.
No.
If you give us the manual, we can get you out of here.
Okay, I like this much better. So, unfortunately, I do not have the manual on me. But yes, I did find it in young Fittich's apartment. I scooped it up right before you got there, as I'm sure you no doubt found out, because I am a master detective and I was 3 steps ahead of you.
But you still managed to get caught by a bunch of nerds?
Well, yes, they're very sneaky. They have cloaking technology and big electrical nets. What do you expect? I am but one man.
Where is it?
I will not tell you. I've hidden it in a place you will never find. But
it's probably a bush. You love hiding behind bushes.
But what bush? Disgusting. You are so sick. Where are you from? Lightning Planet? Oh, you pig. Anyway. I will take...
Don't you say anything about the Lightning Planet if you want to keep your head attached to your neck.
I apologize.
Your apology is accepted.
Thank you. I will take you to the secret hiding space of the manual if you get me out of this cell.
Tell us where it is. When we have it, then we'll let you out.
Look, Sam. Oh, sweet, sweet, beautiful Sam. You know as well as I do that I will die before giving away this information. It is a simple ask on my part. You could convince these assholes to release me and I will take you right to it. You could spring me from the jail cell. I do not care how you do it, but I will not tell you where the device is. I will show you in person. Sorry, the manual.
I reach through the bars and I pull him closer and I say, "What if we tickle it out of you?"
Oh my God! Ah! And as you start to tickle him, you actually hear the doors at the back of the auditorium bang open again. And like a retinue.
Hashtag clue him at my sister's place cause mine doesn't have power but Jess's French accent somehow makes it better. D.
What did I get?
It's a clue from Merc.
Thanks, Merc.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Merc.
Clue.
Something falls out of his pocket. Something falls out of his pocket.
We hope you're
there. She tickles the clues out of him.
What did you say, Connor?
I just said we hope you're doing all right, Merc. I imagine you're not.
We hope you're doing well. Okay, yeah. Actually, as you're tickling him, we're going to go back 5 seconds for this clue. Before the door bangs open, as you're tickling Poirot, a pocket watch actually falls out of one of his pockets. And you can tell that it's not his because it's not actually clipped on. So watch and chain fly free and land on the ground. And as you pick it up, mark this down because I'm going to give you this clue later, but it's not relevant at the moment. So remind me that we have a pocket watch and I will divulge the full clue. But you're getting a little morsel thanks to Merc early.
Yay, Mark!
Yay!
Seriously though, be safe, Mark.
What am I?
I hope you get along with your sister. It's nice to live with a sister if you do.
Yeah, or if you don't, that you're bigger and stronger.
Oh, Merc just fucking hooked you up. I just made a note. So remind me that I made a note for what that clue is. I just crossed it off the list of available clues, and you're welcome, Merc.
So, like, every 10 seconds, we should be like, is it time for our clue yet?
As you pick up the pocket watch, you hear the doors in the auditorium bang open, and you see that retinue of people walk in. They're all wearing white coats. This crew looks a bit more rugged. They're not big and burly. They just look a bit more rugged, and they're currently outfitted with, like, the knuckle up gear. They've just gone on some kind of mission, Rex. It's easy for you to tell. And amongst them is... Where is this motherfucker? Oh, yeah. A taller man in a lab coat. His hair is all tangled up and messy, and he's got goggles up on his forehead. He's quite disheveled. His lab coat is like a soiled, beaten-in thing, and he looks exhausted. But everyone in the group seems to be deferring to him. And you see Egbert near the receptionist desk signal the two of you and point towards the light booth.
All right. We'll be back. I pointed Perel.
All right. This is your chance. Arrange my freedom and I will show you the thing, yes?
We'll be
How
back.
do we know we can trust you?
We
you
can't.
did disappear on us before.
Well, obviously, I was running away from you. It was very upfront. I did not want to be caught.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right?
All right.
All right. We head up to the light booth, I guess.
He says, "Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to eat, man? I'm starving."
Yeah.
A crepe, maybe? Do you have a pocket crepe?
Oh, here. Try this out. 30 cows are in a field. 28 chickens. How many didn't? That's some food for thought. See ya. And we head up to the light booth.
He stands there scratching his head. And you head up to the lighting booth. So, yeah. You climb the stairs at the back of the house. There, it's kind of tucked in the back corner, hidden behind a curtain, and it takes you up to the lighting booth, which looks like it's the booth. So the windows there look at the stage, but it's been converted into an office. There's reports, old coffee mugs, and blaster cartridges everywhere. It's just like very messy. But you can tell that this person who walks in ahead of you, Egbert's kind of leading you up. The person who everyone was deferring to, who you assuming is the rebel leader, collapses into the chair behind the big desk and says, "So, what does this guy's voice sound like, do you think?"
Russian. You haven't done a Russian yet, I don't think.
Okay. Okay. He gestures to some like sunken in chairs across from the desk and says, "Please sit. I need drink. You?"
Yes.
He opens up a drawer in the desk and rustles around and comes up with a bottle of vodka and then looks around and points to some dirty glasses, like mugs, that Egbert gets and rinses and brings back, and he pours up some vodka for everybody.
A motion to him to keep pouring when he's pouring mine.
He does. He doesn't know any better. And he says, "Yes, so Egbert has told me that you are snooping around base. I asked him to keep eye on you, and you show up on front doorstep. It seems we have conversation, yes?"
Yes.
Well, I say, what is it you want?
Perot.
He makes a face. What about him?
Well, unless you can tell us exactly what went wrong with your robot, the other option is Perot.
What robot?
CNAC 88.
Yes, I was going to try and lie my way out of this, but it seems you know more than I would like you to. So yes, the robot, CNAC 88, he has... Well, he has... What is it exactly that is your endgame? Because I have a request of you. I will exchange information if you agree to complete. A job. That is what you do, yes? He points to Sam. He says, you a private eye. You snoop when you get paid. I can pay you whatever it is you need.
You know, I'm actually all booked up on money right now. I kind of have infinite money currently, but I'm sure we can work something out, you know, for the thrill of it.
Yes, okay. Obviously, I want OSI device. I'd like you to retrieve and bring back. There was a technical problem because it is implanted in CNAC 88. So it will be very dangerous, yes?
Oh, yeah. He's already killed a lot of people.
Yes, I know. Unfortunate, very.
And what would you want us to do with CNAC?
Well, it was me who installed the device into robot. Here. He holds up a hand and then draws a little square in the air. And for just a moment, you see a red line trace around his finger and create a very small, very weak portal that fluctuates and then disappears. He says, I tried to use device myself. It is very intoxicating. I feared I would lose self to the device. It was... everyone says this thing, it is volatile, it is dangerous, yes, but specificity of each is key because everything is dangerous. He points to you, Rex, and says, you are dangerous, yes? Sometimes volatile, but you sit here in my office, you share drink, you are very polite. This device does not have good side. Once you are attuned to it, it will do everything in its power to gain more power. That is sole purpose of it. It is vacuum cleaner with a limitless bag. Human beings cannot survive that. It was very difficult for me to unattune to it, but I managed. I was not the first, but I was the last before I implanted in CNAC. I thought maybe robot with strong chassis and bigger circuit board could absorb as much power as possible. So I installed device in CNAC for safekeeping because if attuned to one cannot be attuned to another. So if it is attuned to CNAC with not these human faults, perhaps he could wield device in a way that, well, was safe. His machinery, I thought, could anchor the device and make it less volatile, less dangerous. You understand, yes?
Yeah. Seems like
I was
a sound
wrong.
theory.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
So...
What went wrong?
The device is too powerful. That is as simple as that. Even CNAC, with his robot brain, could not resist. Device takes over. That is that simple. But he does not die. He does not disintegrate. He can absorb the energy, as much of it as he needs. He is made from company materials. Very advanced robotics. He could take more than that device could deliver, most likely.
So if you can't use it, what do you want with it?
Well, we need to stop him. He cannot go around destroying buildings and killing people. That is not what we have intent. But we have no control over him. He is gone.
So why install the device in anyone?
Well, we did not want to destroy because it is asset against company in this fight. If made safe, we could perhaps weaponize it.
I'm sorry, you've seen what this can do and you still want to use it?
Well, less so now, but I would be a fool to completely disregard the potential.
Well, what can you offer us in terms of helping us track it down?
What do you need?
Hurrah.
Okay. We have no real beef with this Poirot. He has instruction manual that Sinak is searching for. We fear that he is liability, but we did not go after him. He was snooping around following you, so we picked him up. We fear that Sinak will be coming to perhaps look for this instruction manual, so if you have him, perhaps he could be used as bait.
Great. Well then, we'll be in touch.
I hope so. I will tell you this, I just got back from a parlay with the Morelli family. You know the Morelli family, yes? Certainly, yeah. Sam, you do?
Yeah.
Well, I fear that they too are after the device. We've come to a ceasefire, but I think they are just biding their time. They are waiting for... They need more time. I think perhaps they think that they too could get the device. And we are afeared that Poirot has been hired by them to look for it.
Let me ask you something. If you could somehow make this device safe, what would you do with it? And why?
We would use it to topple company's rule on this planet. That is where we start. We have no sights beyond the atmosphere of this world. We are looking to free this planet from the rule of the company.
And what is your guys' plan for economic substitution? I'm not a big fan of the company, but it seems like that's a fairly big, process to undertake.
Indeed, and we have no immediate plans, but he gestures out the window towards the stage where there's just that frenzy of activity, people working on machines and doing calculations and plugging things into maps and circuit boards, and says, we are in process. We figure war is long and we have time to figure out what to do when we win.
All right. Well, then we'll be in touch if we need anything, aside from Poirot.
Absolutely. He steps to the window and says, I will inform my people that you are working on the same side. We have eyes all over city. If you betray me, we know. There is not much I can threaten you with, but I will at least be aware. I will release Poirot, but I do think you should be careful.
Absolutely. Don't release him just yet. Give us just a few minutes with him before you release him.
Yes. He slides...
For the tickling.
He slides the window up and says, yes, the tickle. We use it ourselves. And he hangs out the window to yell at the receptionist. And you all kind of lean out and you're looking straight down as he starts to say, please get the map of city. And then there's this commotion down on the stage. And you all look up, and when you do, you see that there are two red orbs burning in the air. And you know what happens next. The orbs separate, creating a dimensional doorway.
No!
A cloaked and masked figure floats out, red energy radiating off of them. They hang in the air, waiting. The lab coats around the stage they all dive towards like hidden weapons and gear. One of them drops back into that Iron Man suit, and it just like, and they like power up, and everybody levels weapons on CNAC. They just have like void blasters, rifles, blunderbusses. There's only one of these Iron Man suits, but they're all like in a circle around, and CNAC's just hanging there in the air, floating now, with this like red energy. Nobody moves. The fellow you've been speaking to, let's just give him a fucking name. He already has a name. I forgot to tell you. His name is Corix Filibust, which you see on one of the papers that are on his desk. He drops the mug he's been drinking out of, and it smashes on the floor. What would you like to do?
Oh man, I assumed you were going to cut away from us just to leave us hanging in suspense.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Is there a we're in an opera. Is there like we're in the lighting booth. Is there a way for me to get up into like the rafters so I can cross over to get backstage without having to go through the CNAC death zone?
Yeah. What's it called? Like just the grid up above?
Yeah.
There's a ladder in back with a small trapdoor that will lead you up into the grid.
Yeah, I make a break for it.
Cool. You get up there fine, and you're going to be able to cross, but just give me a dex roll to see how sneaky you can be.
Okay, dokie. 9.
Okay. You make it about halfway when you see CNAC's face raise.
I'm gonna try and can I try and do something, because I see that happening, and I'm gonna try and distract CNAC?
Yeah, if you roll right, you can get a +1 and bump him up to a full success.
Okay.
What are you doing first? And then we'll decide what stat you'd be using.
Oh, it feels real dumb, but sometimes Rex just does things. So I think she's gonna go, CNAC! You want a drink? And then like fling the vodka bottle at him.
Okay, yeah. Just roll. You're just trying to hit him?
Yeah, like near him, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to hit him. It might short circuit him.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's just
gonna
be dex. You're just making a ranged attack.
What did dex used to be?
Cool.
Wow. That is not a full success. That is an 8.
Okay. You don't hit him. You actually hit one of the white coats who like goes down. Flips over one of the seats in the house and just goes down. But the maneuver is good enough. What the partial success on help out is going to do is it's going to give Sam the +1 that he needs, putting him up to a 10. So Sam, you're able to cross the grid silently without drawing any attention and get to the ladder on the other side and begin climbing. You're trying to get to Poirot without being seen?
Yes. Yeah.
You're able to start climbing down this ladder. Rex, the consequence of the partial success is that his attention is now on you.
Great.
And so he says, he's wearing that mask with the red X eyes and says, Rex, well, gosh darn it, if you just aren't everywhere, what the hell are you doing here?
What the hell are you doing here? And I try and like scuttle off to the side and like armor up a little bit.
He says, well, I'm looking for the instruction manual to, well, you know what. And I hear that they got a prisoner around here who might know where to find it.
Interesting.
I agree. You see, I'm getting more powerful now. and he extends 2 hands and opens effortlessly. You know, when you saw Corix try in the room, he was like scraping the air. 2 holes the size of like storm drains appear. They are actually parallel with the ground, so they're facing down. 2 big red circles, and he says, I can feel them, the planets, and they've got more than enough energy to spare. And just like before, the portals are glowing red at first, because then they cycle through several different auras. And the way that I picture it is, you remember those things you could look through and you'd like click to? That's what these portals are doing. And they actually click through purple, then green, then yellow, and finally they settle onto blue. And he says, this next part's pretty cool. And you actually hear something before you feel it. It's a rumble coming from those portals that turns into a roar. And then hundreds of thousands of gallons of water burst forth out of those portals and start to flood the auditorium. And then Cenac turns and starts floating towards Poirot, as everyone in the auditorium who's not lucky enough to be up in the lighting booth starts swimming for cover. And we cut back to the Summoner's Mansion.
Jeez.
You're in this training area. Ira and Moksha have taken up a position on the other side of it. The ground is actually you can tell that there's a hard surface underneath, but there is a light layer of very fine sand. And they are standing there. Would you tell us, Lisa? I mean, Bryn, you knew immediately that I was going to challenge you to a duel. I was hoping to surprise you. Will you just give us an idea of what a summoner's duel is and how you would know about it?
Well, I've only read about them. I've never actually participated in one because my mother would never do it with me. I tried lots of times. I got in trouble a lot and tried to get her mad enough at me to start some duels, but she wouldn't do it. So, I didn't really ever had any. I never had anybody to duel with. So, I was more wishing that's what you were going to say. But
Okay.
I've read about it. I know that there's a ceremonial bowing at the beginning, and then we each take our corners, and then on the count of 3, we both shoot a spell, and we don't know if it's going to be defensive or offensive.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. I would say that you've also read of a special variation to the Summoner's Duel in which, if all parties are agreeable, parallels may participate. And so...
Y'all, we just got raided!
What? What's the action?
Oh, thanks, Raven. Raven just raided with 4 viewers. Woo!
Thank you, Raven.
Hello, raiders. Welcome.
Welcome, raiders who just joined us. What we got going on right now is a Summoner's Duel, a magical duel between 2 magical parties and their magical assistants. And they're in a dojo inside a giant mansion, and they're about to get it on. So we're doing the advanced version in which you are going to have your parallels participating. And so Ira and Moksha take a step forward, and they are waiting for the guests to bow first. What does that look like, Bryn? The ceremonial bow before the duel.
So you reach up to your person and your hands go back to back, and you bring your heads forward and you both bow down. like almost like a curtsy, but not quite. It takes a lot of balance.
Sure. When you put your hands back to back, Ira's ring makes contact with your flesh, and you actually get this. It's like a static shock, but the magical equivalent that kind of ripples through your entire arm, and it leaves it tingling for just a moment. And the two of you bow. Tag, what is a parallel doing at the ceremonial bow portion of this?
The parallels don't take their eyes off of one another, and they just turn so that they face shoulder to shoulder. And they together, no one leads it, but they breathe in, breathe out, and then turn back facing forward.
Okay. When you do, Moksha takes that bow off of her back, and there is no switch that is flipped. Tag, you recognize it as a psychic connection to her parallel weapon. And instead of a string, a bolt of lightning connects the bow. And on a quiver on her back, several more like electric arrows grow out of this special receptacle on her back. And they go back to their corner, and you guys go back to yours. And there's actually a bell hanging over the arena, and it rings once, twice, 3 times. And you can see Ira beginning to cast a spell. Bryn, what do you do?
I'm gonna immediately cast barrier using the sand.
Okay, roll it. It has rules, if I recall, that are kind of funny.
You mean like a 10, above a 10 is a +1 to barrier strength, 7 to 9, barrier is cast as written, 1 to 6, barrier absorbs the attack and transfers half the harm back to the caster as psychic damage.
Yes. So roll plus magic.
Yeah, that's gonna be fine. That's a 12.
Okay.
Oh wait,
So,
12 plus casting barrier as a reaction does not count as your turn.
okay, cool. So you're able to just kind of separate your Alar, if anybody's read Name of the Wind, and just instinctively cast a barrier around you, which will not take your spell. Tag, what are you doing?
I am going to tune in to Ira, and I'm going to just put out the psychic impulse to tell them exactly what I'm about to do.
Which is?
I am sending out the impulse that I am telling them exactly what I'm about to do. I'm hoping to automatically trip the wire of Moksha's mirror counter and have her or Ira fall into the trap of then revealing their intentions.
Okay. Roll your magic.
8. So mixed success, same as last time.
Okay. So the way that it happens is it would just... I see what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get it on like one of the missed rolls to have the instinct be that she...
So if I'm in thinking of what happened last time, I tried to ask a question, and she, encountering it, bounced the question back and asked it of me. So if instead of asking a question, I'm offering an answer, I'm hoping that she bounces it and offers the answer to us.
Okay. Yeah, you get a very clear image, and Moksha isn't actually able to shut it down in time. She doesn't catch on to what you're doing until it's too late. But the moment it does, you can feel this connection that you've just created reverse, and she's now in control of it. It's like an iron fist around your psyche. But she telegraphs that she's actually about to knock an arrow and shoot it off to your side. And you see her pull the bow and release, and this bolt of lightning is now sailing what might seem right at you, but you know it's actually aimed a little bit off to your side.
Now, talk to me about summoners' duels. What is the safety element? I guess I'm asking because is her shooting it to the side part of how the duel works? That like you don't actually shoot to people, you just show that you can? Or is there
Bryn,
something else?
What is the safety level of a summoner's duel?
Usually there's safety regulations within the room that you duel in that you will never go below a 1 damage. So the duel is over once you hit 1.
Okay. So you might be taking some hits.
So if she is sort of has the green light to hit me, I'm trying to investigate why she's shooting to the side of me.
So Ira does something very strange. At the exact moment that Moksha is pulling this lightning bolt arrow into her bow, Ira mimics the gesture, and from their ring, a bow erupts and forms. And so does an arrow as they pull it back. And at the exact same instant, both arrows fly towards the two of you. But Bryn is able to throw up a barrier, and the purple void arrow hits that and deflects. Tag, roll a dex roll.
Six.
Fail?
7. Sorry, 7.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to fail, but it is a 7.
Okay. What happens is the void arrow bounces off of Bryn's barrier and goes straight at you, almost like a ricochet shot. And in moving to get out of the way, you just barely miss the lightning bolt, which flashes past your face. And you get the impression that all of that was on purpose.
So Moksha knew that Bryn was going to throw up barrier, so she shot an arrow at the place where she thought I would step to avoid the arrow that bounced off of Bryn's barrier.
Yes.
Okay. I tap into Bryn and I go, they can read the future.
Bryn, you were able to cast barrier as a reaction, and you can see that both Ira and Moksha's focus is on these attacks. What would you like your actual spell to be, since you rolled a 12 plus?
I'm going to shoot a serpent of fire out of my staff. A Sammy serpent.
Roll it.
Classic Sammy serpent.
Wait, you mean like the summon?
No. I'm not doing the big boy yet.
Okay. So because this isn't one of your stock spells, this is going to be your first use magic roll that's going to incur a -1 penalty. Okay. You get a roll at full bonus now. It'll be your next roll that takes it.
That's a 9.
Okay. So I'm going to say that that's going to do 3 damage magic.
Okay.
What happens is the serpent of fire flies out of your staff and catches Ira in the chest, flinging them backwards into the sand, and they slide a few feet. You can tell that their robes, which look very thin and elegant, actually absorbed a lot of that damage, but not all of it, which is evident when they stand up and there's a hole burnt into the front. They look down at it, then to Moksha, and say, well, that was unexpected. And Ira moves their hand, and the bow straightens out into a spear.
I knew you had a cool weapon.
Tap the ring with their other hand, and swirl a rather large shield out of it. And they then crouch down into a rather defensive pose. Moksha pulls around behind and knocks an arrow over the top of the shield. Bryn, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yes.
I could do another spell?
I'm setting up what is going to... this is called a soft move, so you are seeing what is about to happen. If you do not address this situation, you are pretty sure you're about to be attacked.
I mean, and Tag, you're to my left?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I already did a barrier, so... I think
When
I'm
the void arrow hit your barrier, the barrier dispelled.
The barrier dispelled. Okay. So, I mean, I can't... Are you saying that I can take a move or I can position myself somewhere in the room?
No, you can take a move. So
I
the
can
way
take a
that fights go, we've done weird fights in the past. This is a straight up battle. Most of the time, these characters will be acting in a reactionary fashion. So I won't be taking too many moves without giving you an opportunity. Since I'm not rolling any dice, I'm not just going to say they shoot you. So I'm saying they're about to shoot you.
Right.
And so you'll have an opportunity to do a move, and then whatever I just set up will resolve.
I would like to hypnotize Moksha.
Okay, excellent. Roll it.
Okay, so I'm at -1, so that puts me in a +1 instead of a +2.
I just want to clarify how these things are going to stack. So your magic is at a -1, but using one of your moves will not bump it to a second penalty. You will just stay at a -1 until you use abstract magic, and then it'll drop. So you could use hypnotize, barrier, any number of things, and you're not going to get debt. But I think you just failed.
No, I got a 7. I barely made it.
Okay. You were
I
trying to
do love how your instinct is to hypnotize, Lisa. That's always funny to me.
Okay, read me what happens on a partial success, please.
I don't know. Oh, wait. Hold on. That was on the vampire page. Just a second.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I
Got
kept
so many
it.
aliases. I think what happens is you're able to give one direction to this person.
Yeah.
And once they complete it, they are free.
Okay.
What is the direction?
I want you to dance the robot.
Okay. You send out this hypnotize, opening up yourself, and you feel your spell contract in the air between you and Moksha, and then you feel a presence similar to the way that Tag connects to you as a parallel, in form but alien in personality, and you start dancing the robot. And then Moksha fires an arrow which connects with you right in the chest and deals 3 damage magic.
Do I have any armor?
Are
As
you
a
wearing your
summoner?
robes?
My robes should. It's not on my character sheet.
You have 2. Your robes would have 2 magic armor. In the past, you had not been wearing them on this planet. I would give you the opportunity to retcon that your formal meeting with the Void.
Oh, I
Hunter
would have put my
Summoner.
robes on for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, you would have 2 armor magic.
So I took
you do
1 damage then. Okay.
Yes. And it stings, and you actually feel a shock of electricity go through you, and you drop your staff. Tag, they are still approaching, kind of like Spartan crawl at the hot gates with this shield up and this spear, and Moksha is reaching for another arrow. What do you do?
Would you try an advanced telekinesis move? Let's see how I do first. Okay, that's a 10. what I want to do is just to amplify the magic of her quiver and essentially use that lightning magic. I want to make it explode.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to make them explosive arrows. Roll magic for me real quick.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out how to resolve this because I like it. I'm not trying to shut it down. I'm just trying to figure out to what extent this is going to happen.
11.
Okay, yeah. So here's what happens. Yeah.
I also I should be transparent. I know that nobody's trying to listen to us just talk about the rules. So my move is telekinesis, advanced telekinesis, which I was reading from, which is something explodes, which is actually not its own move. I thought that I had leveled that up. That's just if I roll a 12 plus on the telekinesis move. So I don't inherently have the ability to make it explode.
Okay, that's fine. I was gonna fuck with you, but you just rolled another full success. So what Moksha actually does is she pulls out 2 arrows and knocks them both at the same time. And right when she gets to the extent of the bow, her eyes go wide. And you can tell that it's at the moment you cast that spell. And you know, because she's still linked to you, that she is surprised. And then the arrows explode. Because they are lightning arrows, they actually explode into a storm cloud that roils around, and lightning and thunder just start exploding out of it. When it clears,
cool.
Moksha and Ira are both laying on the ground. And they crawl back up. Ira's robes are now quite singed. And Moksha is blushing, I think is the right word for it. And Ira says, okay. Okay.
I mean, we could stop now if you'd like.
No, I just am not used to being surprised. The shield and spear are gone.
What else you got?
So
Get 'em, Chuck?
Ira says, I thought a summoner from a backwater world would have waltzed in here just to get struck down in my first salvo. But apparently, the rumors of the Ko-Saint clan hold true. And Ira waves the ring in front of themselves. And you see this peal of void energy coalesce around them. As this, it's not mechanical, so it's difficult to imagine. It's more of like a magical shell. It's like a mech suit. Like the one from RoboCop 2, starts to form around them, and they actually raise up into where the cockpit would be and flex their arms, and these 2 miniguns ratchet up on them.
What?
And they say, well, Bryn, it's time to show you what the Void Planet is all about. And the guns spin up as Moksha actually jumps up and climbs onto the back and sits into kind of a turret seat. And then the miniguns open up and a hail of void bolts come at you and tag. Blackout.
We're all in danger. We're all in grave danger.
I mean, I feel like that's the theme of this show.
Yeah.
At any given moment.
Yep.
Do they still seem cool? They seem like they're on the level? You know, like this is a game, or they seem like this game is a front for another summoner to try and murder us?
No, they seem like they're they seem like they're on the level. Ira seems very competitive.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
getting into a mech suit with dual Gatling guns, when I think we're still at like kind of melee range, more or less, is pretty competitive. Yeah. For a friendly duel.
But it from what you get, they seem like they're having a summoner's duel.
All right.
Playing to win.
Yeah. That's so fun. Oh my gosh. All right. Is there a question from you, Jesse? Do you have a question?
Yes.
Is it why does Jesse hate all these players and want them to die?
I didn't kill any of you.
I gotta say, yeah, these dice rolls seem to mean something pretty different than they meant before.
It's why I made sure to level up everybody at the beginning of the session. This is guys, we're moving into endgame, okay? We're moving into endgame territory. So I'm taking the gloves off. You're fighting enemies.
Oh, yeah. I won't.
It's a gentle Josh.
Objecting.
I'm gonna punish you, is what I'm saying.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, there's a couple rules that I was fudging early, but I wanted to reinforce them for some of the later arcs because, for example, like when you kick some ass, no matter what, you get hurt. So every time you attack, you get hurt. And I was playing that a little loose earlier, but come on, Bryn's facing off in her first Summoner's duel against the Void Planet Summoner. They're gonna fuck you up.
No, they're not. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
All right, this one's actually from the professor. We're going to throw a little bone out to Brian Lewis. He had a question that he wanted to ask us.
Cool.
Aww.
If you could be instantly good at a hobby that involves you making something with your hands, what would you choose to be excellent at creating?
God, so many things.
Yeah, my gut is to like be a sort of a Stradivarius kind of, make these really beautiful world-renowned instruments. But I've been in the world of magic for so long, it's hard to think with the limitations of our world's physics. So I'm like, yeah, I would create antimatter, I know antimatter is a real thing, but I don't have any idea what it is.
The way that I think of antimatter is like Sigma from Overwatch. That's not how it works. Probably.
Yeah.
This is a great question.
I would say skateboards. But not just go in and like buying all the different pieces and putting them together. Like making skateboards that were usable and light enough to do cool tricks on out of whatever I wanted.
That'd be cool.
They'd have cool designs on them, and like the trucks would be made out of like, I don't know, fucking obsidian or whatever. Yeah. The wheels would be made out of like dinosaur bones.
The question is hobby with your hands.
Instantly good at. So it would take no amount of time to learn it. You would just overnight be able to do it.
Drawing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with drawing, just straight up.
That's good.
That's good. I wish I'd thought of that.
Because I'll tell you, I can draw okay. Like we're talking like I mean in like the very bottom echelon. Like I can tell what it is that has been drawn, but only if A, I'm looking at the thing that I'm trying to draw, and B, I spend forever doing it. So the idea of being able to just be like, yeah, look, it's a bird's nest. Seems pretty sweet.
Do you listen to Aesop Rock, Casey?
I do.
There's a song on Impossible Kid. I think it's called like Rings or something like that.
Okay.
It's all about drawing. I would check it out. I'm gonna find the exact name, but it's
sweet.
Yeah, it's what you're talking about makes me think of it. The way that he speaks of it in Aesop fashion.
Oh, dude, where you're like, wait, what? Wait, what are you saying? And
Yeah,
then you
it's
go back and you listen to it, and you're like, oh, okay. I got a little more that time. Talk about, a guy you got to circle back on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you suckers?
I'd like to amend my answer, but I won't hog the spotlight.
You don't want to be able to do antimatter?
Yeah, I think I locked in with what I want.
Okay.
Do you guys have one?
Yes. I have so many, but I guess the first one that jumped into my head is I would love to be able to build sailboats. I read a book when I was like 20 about a family of people that made these beautiful, they restored and they made these beautiful sailboats in like where was Chesapeake Bay area, and I was like, oh my god, I would love to just go live on a coastal island and build boats. That would be so fun. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had thought of drawing, because that's, I think, the perfect answer. And
it can still be drawn for you.
Yeah, but the first thing I thought of was bookshelves, and then my brain was like, but you can make bookshelves out of a board and some cinder blocks.
I did the same thing, Trin.
And then my brain was like, but you really love books and you really like having a nice place to put them, so I'm still gonna stick with bookshelves.
Cool.
All right.
Although drawing is obviously a great answer.
Yeah, as soon as he said it.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
My new answer. Massage.
Oh, that's a good answer too.
Like just like a fucking next level. Can just
some people have magic hands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, piano. Piano is
that
also,
was my second one, was piano or violin. I was like, those would be really cool.
Wow. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So all of these things that we could conceivably learn how to do if we spent lots and lots of time learning it, but instead we're just going to be like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could just magically do it?
No, I actually don't have an aptitude for visual art. I've done countless classes, like drawing and art classes, and I ended up drawing the storyboards for one of the films that I did, but it took me forever. Whatever the stat bonus is for like drawing, I've got a big old penalty in that bish. Believe you me. There's other stuff that I'm good at. That's not one of the things.
Let me just push back on you slightly. You said visual art. I can't do
hand drawing.
Whatever Pictionary. You're a great
maybe if
Pictionary.
it's like true life, drawing for realism, sure. But I think that the idea that you are disqualified from being good at visual art, I'm less likely to get on board with.
Oh, okay, I just mean I can't draw. That's all. That's all I meant to say. Like, I will edit people under the table. Like,
no, I mean, I'm talking about drawing. I'm talking about like you can't draw a true to life turtle in perfect proportion, but there's so many stylistic variances in visual art and drawing. Like, you could draw some cool shit.
No, absolutely. And again, I can do it with time and the right structure. I'm just saying that I don't have a particular the attribute set that makes it like a more natural thing for me. Like, I know other people who have certain skills in which they are more inclined to thrive than other skill sets. And this just doesn't happen to be a skill set where the environment I was brought up in or the nature that I was born with contributed to that particular skill set. That's all. But I got a magic wish to be good with it at it instantly with my because of that question. So I'll take it.
Cool. Thanks, chat.
Thank you, chat.
Go, chat.
Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us on another Wednesday in space. Thank you to Mark Thomason, running our attack behind the scenes, doing all the stuff to keep us running.
Mark, you rock.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to Aaron Buman for our intro and our wonderful music that you hear in the background of our scenes. His stuff is incredible, and he changes it up every season for us. Thank you so much to Aaron. Thank you to Merc Worky, our mod, and the maker of incredible fan art in our Discord. If you join, you can see some of the wonderful stuff. Last week, she made a really cool newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
So rad.
It was awesome. It was so fun. So thank you so much, Merc. Thank you to Zombie Orpheus for hosting us. If you enjoy us, you can follow us on Twitter at BoyJumpers. You can also join our Discord. We're pretty chatty there and have a lot of fun. We've got Zoe Game Night has been moved to Discord for the next couple weeks. So if you want to come play games with Zoe, you can join in on the Discord tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then my brain shut down. The Reliables is on Monday at 6 p.m. It's a brand new Zoe show. It's a ton of fun. Come check it out. And then we will be back on Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Sure. I miss you already.
Can't wait.
More duels.
Woo.
And a CNAC 88.
Yeah.